Hi artists, it's Miss Evans and I'm going to demonstrate quickly how to make a print using just markers. This is called Presto foam. It's just a piece of foam that you can carve into, and a piece of paper with a sponge and a spray bottle with water in it. We also might need a ruler if you're really careful about making straight lines. So before we even worry about the foam, we're going to scooch all this over and we're just going to quickly practice with pencil. You're going to have just a piece of scratch paper and you're going to divide your scratch paper into sections. It really doesn't matter how many. I like to do 4 or 5, and it doesn't have to be perfect because this is a super fast sketch. And then in each section, we're going, oops, my paper's a little wet. We are going to draw different patterns or designs. Super fast, not worrying about being perfect, because the faster we get done with our practice, the faster we get to do the cool part, which is the foam printmaking. So this is kind of the idea. 5 or 4 sections, and now we're going to scooch over to our foam, and we're actually going to switch from a pencil. We're going to grab a ballpoint pen, and we're grabbing a ballpoint pen because they have a nice point that can actually carve into our foam. It doesn't matter if the ink gets on here, it's really not important. And if you want straight lines, you'll grab your ruler and you're just pushing hard enough to make an indent, but not so hard that it carves it in half, right? So just enough to make an indent. And sometimes the ink shows up, sometimes it doesn't. That really doesn't matter. And if your sections are not the same size, that's okay too. So now I'm keeping an eye on my practice. If I want to copy it, I can, or I can totally change it. You just want to make sure that you're pushing hard enough so that there's an indentation. And again, you don't have to take super long time because you want to get to the fun part, which is the actual markers. All right, next up, I'm grabbing the colors that I like. And I'm also getting my paper ready. This paper is what I'm going to print on. So I'm going to make sure my name is on it somewhere before I print, because it's hard to write it after. Sometimes our print is wet. Your name can be on the front or the back. It really doesn't matter. But I see this one is a little dirty, which is not a huge deal. But since I have a clean side to choose from, I'm going to flip it over. And first I have to color my marker. So I'm using the flat edge of my marker, not the point, because if I use the point, sometimes it tries to engrave just like my pen did when I don't really want it to. And I'm going so fast. You see, I'm not really taking my time. The idea is to go quickly, but also covering all your print plate. Sometimes I like to continue the previous color into the next space. And you can also overlap colors. So right here, I'm going to add some blue on top of my green, see what happens. Might make a tie-dye when it prints. And I might go up here and add this color up here as well. Maybe add some more pink on my diamonds. And now I'm going to quickly, before this dries, spray my paper just a couple times. So there's a light mist. And then I'm going to grab this sponge. I'm going to wipe that off. I just want it damp. I don't want any puddles. And I'm trying not to get my dirty fingers on the paper. It's okay if that happens. It happens. Now when I place my foam, I'm holding it on the edges. I'm trying to make it straight. We don't want it crooked. Press it down. And now I need to make sure I really push every single spot, even the corners, the edges. I kind of like to do circles so that I make sure I get every spot. You'll be happier when you lift it up if you do this. And then I'm gonna carefully and slowly, this is the coolest part. You ready? I'm gonna peel it up, and there is my print. The coolest part is I can go wash this off, which I want you to do. You go rinse this off, dry it off with a paper towel, and then you do it again with different colors. You can make as many as you have time for today. Just make sure that your name is somewhere on each print because I am posting these to Artsonia.